double standard right now in our country that all the focus is on count every ballot. And they don't want to talk about is the accuracy of the voter roll something that protects the integrity of the election. So I think it's very important that we share with people information so that they make sure they elect people like Dan Segru and a Secretary of State that want to bring integrity back. Because if garbage goes in, you surely have garbage come out. Yes. I also want you to know that we do often hear the answer that statewide voter registration protects us from duplicate registrations. Unfortunately, two things have happened. When Motor Voter was implemented, the attorney for the State Board of Elections, as well as counsel in the Secretary of State's office, indicated that they had done research and they had recognized that if you come in an Illinois driver's license facility to get an ID, and what you present is deemed to be fraudulent, it is false identification, they will turn you away for a driver's license or a state ID, but before you leave they say, would you like to register to vote? And it's not funny, it's been going on since 1994. And the employees, I don't think by and large approve of it, but they are directed that it is discriminatory to do otherwise. Okay? So we have a lot of cleaning to do. We really need a cleansing. But the statewide voter registration database is, oh, you wouldn't believe the money that's been spent on it. It's the golden albatross. Because the State Board of Elections, and I've been in trouble with them before, so here I go again. I've had a couple of phone calls where they're like, we're going to kill you. They have never set up a standard for looking for duplicates. All of the vendors were sent notices that you have to be compliant in your system operating in any county in Illinois to flag people that might be potential duplicates. To my knowledge, there's only one vendor that is compliant, and that's the vendor that serves Lake County and DuPage County, the same one. Everybody else is kind of dragging their feet. But even if you're flagged as being a duplicate voter, it's up to the jurisdiction to take action. And I have to tell you, I won't name the county, and it wasn't Cook County, but we had a voter that was registered in Lake County. They went off to school, and it wasn't Champaign. He does an awesome job. And then they were registered there because they were entreated to do that. And then they came back to Lake County, and they registered to vote here. Now, I don't know how your math works, but mine is the last place you registered is where you live, right? It's where you most recently said, I'm here, I've got ID, I want to register. They went back to the district where they've been in school. They were marked inactive. We had them in our system. It was very simple to sort them as a duplicate. And the darn county clerk there let them vote because they said, well, they were registered here first. And we said, well, actually, no, second. And then they came back to us third. So you can see we have no standards in our state where there's any kind of enforcement that you're not able, if your elections officials don't want to keep it clean. So I don't want to totally demoralize you, but I want you to think about something else. The good news is one of the top target races in the Democratic Party they've come in, they like us, they always say, oh, you should go teach David Orr a seminar because you guys do such a good job. And we said, well, we're going to have a really big turnout this year, aren't we? We got to brace ourselves and get lots of judges. And they said, oh no, we think it's going to be very low turnout. So that's good news that they know their voter base is demoralized. But the other thing that I think we have to face is the money you talked about. The money pouring in these desperate races. They're going to slander people that are speaking the truth. And it's going to be very important for us to educate people that are pretty much sick of elections and just do this when they hear the message. We really need to empower them to understand that we've got to bring truth and integrity back to our government. The last thing I want to mention is How are you going to do it? Well, there are a lot of activities going on, and if you don't know what the organization Women's Voices, Women's Vote is, Google it when you get home. You will see that this nonprofit organization that was in Boston, now in Washington, D.C., and they do mailings that have a return address, Voter Participation Center. They were active in all 50 states in 2008. I called them when we saw how many we were getting, and I don't know if any of you, I know you don't probably watch CNN, but they talked about the goldfish that got registered to vote in Lake County. That came through Women's Voices, Women's Vote. Okay? So they had a very broad scope of who they were trying to register, including people that were goldfish. And Women's Voices, Women's Vote, I called them up and I said, it looks like you've got a real commitment to getting a lot of people registered. I'm assuming you're going to do a Get Out the Vote campaign. Yes, we are. And I said, well, could you tell me, I'm in Illinois, when this will happen so we can be prepared and have plenty of staff here to get those ballots out within the 2 business days required. And the young intern said, I'm not sure we're doing Illinois. I said, oh, you want all women between the ages of 18 and 35 and all people in a certain income bracket to get registered, but you don't care if they vote in every case? And I said, you just want them to vote in states that are like key states? So they didn't do a Get Out the Vote in Illinois in 2008, but guess what? They're back. And they've already done voter registration. If you know anybody that's gotten a form you probably don't because they're targeting who they're sending it to. But if they're inactive because they got these kids to register at Iowa when they thought they needed them in Iowa, now they want them back here. And they are doing a Get Out the Vote by sending out mailing on Vote by Mail. I've got in the back information. I've had people say to me, why are you promoting voting by mail? Doesn't this promote voter fraud? Well, the people that want to cheat are doing it. I want to make sure that the people who are honest people have every opportunity to vote, even if they get sick on election day or get called out of town with work. You can go ahead and sign up to vote by mail now. The other thing is people have said, but what if the mailman loses my ballot and it doesn't get back to you? We have little cards that explain, and you can share this with people that you believe are like-minded, that they can track that we got the ballot back, the voted ballot, on our website. The other thing, which always seals the deal, if you sign up to vote by mail as a permanent vote by mail voter, I will remove you from the ballot printing count for election day and early voting, and I will save your tax dollars. So we actually have a motivation, this is an unfunded mandate, to reduce having to print 3 ballots for every voter. But what these organizations are doing is they're working very smart. They are registering people to vote by direct mail with their name pre-printed. All they have to do is sign and date it. Then they're following up with a please vote by mail. They're going to mark them off the list because Terry Link's law requires me to put on the website every night who's requested a ballot by mail. So when they know it comes back, they're going to mark them off. Then they're going to go target the people they're going to bring out to vote during early voting. When they get through with them, then they have a much smaller pool of people to get out on election day. So it's going to be very important for every person in this room to operate on an even playing field. If you can vote by mail now, go ahead and do it. Get your friends and relatives because things happen and people don't get to the polls. Then get those that are reticent to do it to vote early in person. Then you will have identified who are those people hanging back that don't know who to vote for. You'll have time to go talk with them and they can get them out on election day. So we're going to have to work really smart because I think they're going to have more money and more union workers. But it's my pleasure to be here, and we just want you empowered so you understand the process, because we can't do anything in our office as far as law enforcement. It's not our role, but we do try to track the trends and keep people aware of what their rights are. So thank you very much.